my crumb dumpsters. It's me, Phoebe Cakes.
And I'm Angel Food Cakes.
And we're here today for a very special In My Crumble opinion review of the movie Wicked. I'm not going to bury the lead. I'm just going to say, oh my God, I loved it.
I loved it. Yeah.
I loved it.
I loved it.
Now, we'll just
We're
kind of go
gushing.
through. Yeah, we're kind of gushing. We'll just go through our kind of, thoughts about the film overall, and then kind of break it down and final thoughts.
I'll start quickly, just as
Okay.
like a little background. This is my first time consuming anything Wicked. I've never read the book, never seen the show. My exposure to Wicked prior to this was either drag numbers
Parodies, yeah.
or Leah Michele, the version on Glee. Yeah.
That is a really sad history that you have with the musical.
Yeah. You're more of a fan.
I'm more of a fan. I'm going to say just I've been a big fan of the musical. I tried to get into the book. It was a little boring. I was an English major, but to tell you the truth, I kind of hate reading. So if I didn't have the patience for it, if I couldn't sink my teeth into it, I kind of dropped it. I will say the book probably has some a lot of virtues that the musical doesn't. A big fan of the musical. Big fan of Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth as a joint slay duo. So I spent the better part of the last 20 years at this point fan casting this movie in my head, and I'm just happy what happened the way it did. Yeah. So why don't you tell me how it was for you as a first time Wicked?
Yeah.
Well, you've only seen half of it.
I've only seen half. You gotta wait a year, and I thought it was super fun. I mean, I know it's somebody described it as a very musical. It's a musical's musical. And it was giving musical.
It was giving musical. It was also giving movie.
Yeah. And I was the marketing campaign, they've been marketing this movie for a century at this point. So it was easy to get over it and just be let's get this movie out of the way. I definitely went in ready for a good time. I was not, going in jaded or anything like that. But even so, I was and first 5 minutes tops, less than that, I was fully in, 100%.
What I love about the whole experience of going to see Wicked is that I had reservations. Like I said, I spent the last 20 years kind of waiting for this movie, wanting this movie to happen. And then when they announced that it was going to be a two-parter, I was just oh, why? And then I saw the runtime of the first half is 2 hours and 40 minutes. I was just girl, what are we doing here? But within the first 10 minutes, I leaned over to my partner. I was just bitch, we need every single second, every single second to tell this story. And I can't tell you enough that I just love the production. Are you familiar with theodicy? The philosophical problem of the theodicy?
I'm not familiar with that.
So basically, there's this philosophical question about God, is that if God is all-knowing and benevolent, why do bad things happen? Why is there evil in the world?
Okay.
Yeah. So, if there's
why
a benevolent,
are people wicked?
Yeah, if there's well, yes, that. But if there's a benevolent God, why did it take so long for this movie to happen? And then the big theodicy problem, one of the potential solutions, Leibniz said two things. Okay, and that's this is the best of all possible worlds, and that God assuredly knows best. And God had a plan.
Okay, that's very reassuring given the timeline we've been occupying lately.
That's true. But
I'm not sure I buy it.
I want to extrapolate that or kind of map it onto Wicked. It's just we could have had a Wicked 20 years ago, and it would have been
who was in your original fan casts?
Oh, I was using American Idol girlies. So I was thinking Von Zell Solomon and Carrie Underwood or, something like that. But I mean, realistically, it would have been Anne Hathaway and Emmy Rossum or something. Yeah,
oh, totally.
Or even if they waited 10 years, it could have been Leah Michele and Leah Michele playing both
Yeah.
parts, like CGI
Yeah.
playing off herself,
like
like
Lindsay
that,
Lohan
yeah,
and,
it's like worst of all possible worlds. Like this happening the way it did was like kind of transcendent.
Yeah.
I think like perfect cast, kind of blown away by the director. We'll get into the meat of that, but
Yeah.
like I was just best possible version this movie could have ever been.
Yeah.
Let's just start with the look of the film. What did you think of like the set design?
The production design. I love, they were like really, hyping it up how they were using all these practical sets and everything. And we watched a video by like the production designer about like all the sets they construct and everything. And it's like crazy. It's like the biggest sets he was ever worked on.
It's the same guy that did Interstellar and Dunkirk. And we don't love Christopher Nolan and we don't love like war films, but to bring someone that understands scale and like filmmaking like that way, and to bring it to like this like fantasy world, I think was kind of a genius.
So like things that this movie is doing that's like, helping push this trend that's kind of fixing maybe some older trends of like they hired singers for these musical roles, not actors.
Yeah.
They are using all these like practical effects rather than CGI like in Barbie. Yeah. Although like quick side note, I feel like the experience of watching this movie did for me what Barbie was supposed to do.
Oh, okay. Or at least did it for longer.
Yeah, Barbie started off really strong. And then I was kind of like snoozing by the end.
Falling asleep.
And then this one like had me by the throat and shook me until the end. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, loved the practical sets. My one like big major critique of the film, and it's one that like was percolating a lot like when the trailers were released and everything. I did think it was like kind of washed out at times. I wish it was a little kind of like
you said it was like backlit. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that because like you get a real sense of like where the light's coming from. That didn't bother me.
Sure, very, very naturalistic. But I come to this place for artifice, not like reality.
Oh, there's plenty artifice.
And it was plenty of artifice, but I would have minded a little more.
Agree to disagree. I liked what the light was doing most of the time. I will say part of my reservation is like from the previews, looking at, like from at a television or through my phone, I did think it was giving like Netflix movie, like straight to video fantasy. And I just like, I wasn't fully convinced, but seeing it in the grandeur of the movie theater and also kind of like appreciating the sets that they built and how they kind of like married practical, set dressing with CGI and kind of prioritized the tactility and the realness of what they built, and to like build out the whole universe, I thought was like,
yeah, it's a movie theater's movie. Go see it in the theater. IMAX, the biggest screen you can find.
What did we think of the direction? Like just overall, John Chu's.
Well, you seem to have things to say, so why don't you go ahead?
Oh, I mean, I just think that, again, like my reservation is just like the guy that did Now You See Me, the magician heist movies, like I don't know about that. And although I thought, Crazy Rich Asians was a really fun, refreshing rom-com and a very important for like my people, well, not my people, but, Asian people. They're my people, but, they're East Asian people. Yeah, rich East Asian people. I wasn't sure that, he had the chops to like bring this to life, even though he did In the Heights, which I did not see, which now I think I might go see, but I'm kind of like over Lin-Manuel Miranda. So now I might go back and see it just to see more of what he does. But he really understood blocking, the way the camera kind of, thank you, my little munch. Yeah. Our little munchkin brought us some drinks. Yeah, cheers. Elixir. I just really think that he like really understood, that it was a movie musical. I think so many times when directors do movie musicals, they try to make it like realistic or like kind of like naturalistic and downplay the musicality of it, like the musicalness, like that, like the genre musical, they downplay it, but it's just like, no, people are dance walking. People are dancing.
Yeah.
You know, you get.
They came in hot.
Yeah, you get a sense of the choreography. It's not like hidden. I don't know. It's just like soul.
We're gushing. We love John Chu.
My
John
gosh.
Chu's our favorite director.
Sometimes I'm like,
he deserves to get eaten from the back.
Yeah. John Chu, if you're listening.
No, there were like multiple times I was like, okay, John Chu like really he understood the assignment here, and like, you know, straight man directing Wicked, it's like, okay. Like,
but the gays are very queer.
He knew it's like, this is a movie about the girlies, so the, you know, the eye candy is gonna be the boys.
The boys was the eye candy. Not only that, I just felt like the gays was queer,
like the experience of seeing this movie and it being the culmination of like years of like, you know, press releases and marketing and all this stuff. I completely forgot about the Ariana Grande Ethan Slater thing until he appeared on screen. I was like, this is where this is where it all began. This is where it happened.
Okay, so that was actually that's my one icky part of the movie. It's just like seeing, it's just like this poor man left his pregnant wife for Ariana Grande. I mean, like, of course, because Ariana Grande is like a vision and perfect and beautiful, and you know, she is Galinda. She ate.
Okay.
We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it.
Okay.
But it's just like Ethan Slater was a jump scare for me.
The scariest part of the movie.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, Bach is kind of like pathetic, so we'll get more of him in the second movie. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it for Angel.
Costume design, lovely. I loved every part of it.
Everything. It was just like, you know, very like Tom Brown. Everything's like very tailored. But also like, there's sometimes these like unctuous undulating curves and petals to some of the garmentry. Madame Marble's like costumes were just really statuesque and had gravitas. I don't know, like everybody was so good.
I think this goes across like the production design, the costume, the performances. I think they threaded a really good needle of like making it kind of like broad and accessible enough while also like bringing in a lot of the whimsy of like the Oz universe and everything.
Yeah.
Like they achieved these like, you know, like with the costumes, it was all beautiful and like well made, but also like had little, you know, wacky elements. But it's still, they also like, it was
it felt both
widely accessible. They're making it for both like us now and also somebody watching this, you know, 50 years from now.
It didn't feel like a period piece, and I think like it felt timeless but like familiar. But it was also very idiosyncratic to the world, but also idiosyncratic to the person that, you know, in the costume.
Let's talk about the performances. Let's talk about
the performances.
There's no way we can avoid the elephant in the room.
What's the elephant?
Ariana Grande.
Elephant in the room. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Teeny tiny skinny,
elephant. All clavicle and jawbone. When she came in on that bubble, I was like, bitch is gonna pop that bubble with her clavicle.
Décolletage.
Décolletage. But she like immediately she understood the character and the subtext that the character needed to play in kind of that first scene. And I was kind of gagged because I knew that she started out in musical theater and then did like sitcom comedy for like, you know, Nickelodeon.
But it's been so long that she's been this like mumbly pop star that like...
Oh, that's the gag. She can articulate. She had us fooled. We thought that she was gonna be like mush mouth the whole time, but no, bitch. She like did her many mumbling mice, red leather, yellow leather, you know, unique New York, you know, theater exercises before every single fucking take.
Yeah, no, she really like came out of the gates hard. It was like she like really seized this opportunity. Ariana Grande, Oscar winner.
I'm gonna say like if she's nominated,
if she's nominated, I'll riot.
Yeah, we'll storm the Capitol. By the way, the world is shit, and it's really fun to talk about Wicked.
Nice. I mean, I will say that it's such a fun escapist fantasy, but also like the story was very resonant with
Oh yeah.
It is kind of about a creep of fascism and a fascist creep.
Yeah, fascist creep and theater of like, politicking and I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to
okay. Back to yeah.
Jonathan Bailey.
Jonathan Bailey. Okay, sometimes people just eat so hard that you're left in awe. Like sometimes like someone's just so beautiful on camera and they're just like eating every scene, and it's a mixture of the cinematographer, the director, the subject. It's just kind of like really making love, to each other in this like beautiful symbiosis. A good example of that, Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, like just like she looks so beautiful in every single scene, just kind of like breathtaking. And then I feel like the same thing happens here with Jonathan Bailey. Like as soon as he like turns to the camera, when he dismounts that horse, I'm just like,
I got something he could mount.
Oh my god. And then just how gay it was, all kind of choreographed and like winky nod. I don't know. I love the pansexuality and hypersexuality of Fierro as like this bon vivant, hedonist. And I feel like having Jonathan Bailey play that part was just like kind of perfect. Yeah. He sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Great singer.
Great. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't really talk about Ariana Grande singing.
Oh yeah,
like
she sounded
just
great.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
The first song, I was like, oh, wow, she's doing it. Operatic.
Her tone, yeah, no, beautiful. It's like very rooted in the character. It is a little bit of a facsimile of Kristen Chenoweth.
I was about to say that,
but like in a good way. Like in a good way. It's
she was doing a little bit like in the character overall. She's doing some Kristen Chenoweth. She was doing some of her SNL Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
But it also is like similar to the Glinda of the original 1940s film.
Oh, absolutely.
Like she's got this.
Yeah. It's like a mean girl, but also puppet of the fascist regime.
No, she was so funny. She was like really funny in it. She would, her physical comedy was so good.
So good, just so funny. Oh, the artichoke steamed line. She ate that. Oh my god, we were gagged. Like even Cynthia was like, "Oh, bitch, that was funny." Yeah, I am being a steamed artichoke right now.
We have to stop talking about Ariana Grande, or we're never gonna finish this video. Michelle Yeoh.
Oh, Michelle Yeoh, 8. Mm-hmm. I mean, no notes. No. I think she was perfectly cast.
Yeah, I thought she had gravitas, but also like she's like a woman making herself small to like be closer to power. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was able to do that.
Yeah, secretly evil is really hard to pull off, but I feel like she did that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bowen Yang and the other sidekick.
They're great.
Pull it up.
Yeah. Love a lackey.
Yeah. They were very funny.
Consistently funny. You know what I mean? Like sometimes like there's these comic relief characters that are just like a little too hammy or kind of like do the same thing over, but like every single thing they did was like hilarious. Very funny. Raise her hand. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Cynthia because I'm eher.
Yeah.
Why don't you go first?
I thought she was great. I am unburdened by the like, Elphaba's past, so I'm not like doing a whole lot of comparing it to Idina Menzel and other people who've done it. Anyway, I thought she was great. I thought her acting was very good. I thought she was I thought the role. I was totally buying it. I was like sad when she was sad. I was affected by everything. I'm on her side. Animal rights.
Mm-hmm. I am burdened by 20 years of Idina Menzel knockoffs. Like the Eden Espinosas, Shoshana Bean, Anna Gasteir's of the world. It was like everyone has been playing Elphaba a very specific way, and that specific way is like Idina Menzel. So it's taken me a lot of work to kind of like, unlearn and untether and divorce myself from that rendition of Elphaba, because I actually think that what Cynthia brings to it is so fresh and so different, but also so very real and good. I do love the idea of Idina Menzel playing Elphaba because, like, she has this giant, unwieldy voice that she has no control over. Yep. And she just kind of like throws herself into the music, and that's kind of like her power set, you know, it's how her powers manifest. It's all kind of emotion and no grace, you know. And Cynthia Erivo is all grace. All very controlled. Yeah. Like the way she sings. So watching the movie for the first time, I was just like, oh, it's not what, you know, Idina does. It's not what those other, you know, Latinx coded girlies do. It's like what you know, it's something different, and I had to get used to it, but in the end, like, I loved it and I bought it, and I think it's actually enriching the role in a way that I wasn't expecting. And then now listening to it, not in the theater, but like now listening to it on Spotify, I actually think like I could really, really appreciate Cynthia Erivo's kind of take on Elphaba, the character. I think the marriage of vulnerability and mournfulness of the character that isn't always brought out in the other kind of versions that I brought up really comes out in her singing, especially like Not That Girl, like her rendition of Not That Girl, untouchable, so beautiful. But then I also, like, when she needs to get powerful, she gets powerful. And I think like she kind of has a, you know, musical arc because she's so, you know, has such a wide range and ability, you know, when like it's just transcendent when she does Defying Gravity.
It is. I think that there is a little bit of a room for, like, you know, feels like there could be a little more stakes. I didn't get a strong sense that like the music is like a spell being cast, you know, there's these magical roots being dug into the earth through the power of this song. I thought it was beautiful and very well done. Yeah. You know,
I'm a fan, but I agree, you know, to a certain extent. It's just like there's maybe some like grittiness in the music that, but I mean, also like just like perfection as well, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah. I was into it. Yeah.
Yeah. But the Defying Gravity, when she's like finally flying and she's just
spoilers. Yeah. She defies gravity.
Like, yeah.
She does defy gravity.
They elongate that song. Yeah. They put in a bunch of little
it's like 20
interludes.
Minutes.
It's a 20-minute version. And it just like really works because by the end you're just kind of ecstatic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think final thoughts moving forward. How do we move on? How do we go on?
You know, I had so many reservations, and now I just have so much trust and confidence in the team putting this together. I mean, they do have, you know, 20 years of production notes, but also just like everything available in their repertoire to like make this movie happen. You know, they have the talent, they have the money, they have the resources, they have the vision. So it's just like, I think it's going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, I, like, when you first were like, oh, let's go see Wicked opening night on Thursday, I was kind of like, no, we don't need to do that.
No, we're going to stay home and watch Sweet Charity.
We want to watch Sweet Charity.
I was like, okay,
no, it's like, it's an event. Let's go watch it. And coming out of it, I'm like, oh, yeah. A year from now, we'll be going opening night to Wicked Part 2.
Wicked Part 2. Bitch, we're getting in line now. Yeah. We're getting in line. I'm camping out in front of
If you're in line,
AMC.
Stay in line.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of jealous because you don't know what's going to happen. I kind of know what's going to happen. And I do think the second half of the musical is less exciting than the first half. But now I'm just so excited because the movie improved upon the stage production in so many different ways that I'm just like, fully faithful that they're going to improve upon the second half and make it really interesting and really fun. And there's just like so much that's going to happen. And I think some of the most beautiful duets happen in the second half. You know, like we get some really fun, like 11th hour bangers in this first half, but the second half kind of has songs that are a little more rooted in connection between certain characters. And I'm just like really excited to see people, you know, kind of throw themselves into those songs. I'm like very excited.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Tune
oh my
in
god.
Next year.
We're very excited. Are we giving press tour, Cynthia?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking
Ariana?
about. This is just this is my nightgown.
Okay, yeah. Well, exactly. I just threw this on because I'm chilly. Okay, we'll see you next time.
Bye. Go watch the movie.
Go watch the movie. Watch it twice. 3 times. Tell us what you think. We can't do it.
One more.
Okay, wait, hold on. Oh, whistle it. You do a good whistle.
No, I don't think I can whistle.
Okay. I'll do it, Dina. And then now, Cynthia.